And hello to everybody on our LinkedIn Live chat here on LinkedIn Live every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And my guest today is a very dear friend who always has a lot of fun on when she's live. So I hope you heard the music there with us. Dalia, welcome to our live chat.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in the
Yes.
kitchen. We're cooking today.
Yes, because it's Hello America is what's cooking.
Hello,
And what's
America.
cooking in our industry, in the meetings industry. And then we are touching upon all different facets. But before we get started, would you like to introduce yourself very quickly to our
Thank
audience
you.
today?
Sure. My name is Dalia Elgazar. I am the lead ruckus maker at Dahlia Plus Agency, full marketing agency. We serve different people in the events industry, hospitality, travel industry, basically those that want to change, and we become their change accelerators. So anything within event design, marketing, obviously, if it has to do with tech, we help them out with that. But more so than anything, we are seeing more change makers that need teams, especially the A team, to help them accelerate what they have as a vision or what they have as a strategy, and are not able to execute. And I know you and I are going to talk about talent and what's missing, what's not, all of that good stuff as well. But
Thank you so much. And just a reminder to everybody in the audience, please feel free to give us a shout out, just like Monica. Thank you, Moni, for being our fan in the audience. And Sean, if you come to visit me, I'll let you sit in my famous chair here. I thank you for being in the audience as well. And here is another shout out to welcome Dahlia. Without further ado, and we know each other for a very long time.
oh
You
yes,
have been preaching about the importance of our industry embracing event tech. You've even called yourself the event tech evangelist. Take us on that journey. How has event tech evolved in the last few years?
it's definitely evolved in the last few years, and it's with great pride that I've seen, some of the technology companies that have embraced and exploited the chaos that we've been through in the Corona coaster. Some people thrived, some people used it as a launch pad to do more of what the industry needs. Some are more forward thinking than what the industry needs right now, as well. But the whole evangelism is really because I want event organizers to focus on the journey themselves, the journey for their stakeholders, especially their internal teams, not only their attendees or new attendees or their sponsors, exhibitors, even their speakers. So for them to focus on that, where I live or where the team lives, is we take a look at technologies that will either serve them or it will slow them down. So not all the systems and solutions have to be embraced. It truly depends on strategy first. It depends on goals second, and it also depends on the different stakeholder journeys or experiences. So it's not that everything has to be in. Let me put it this way: technology is the enabler, basically. The whole idea of event tech, the landscape that we're seeing right now, it's super massive compared to pre-corona coaster. But the other challenge and the other overlap that organizers are going to have to wrap their head around faster now than before is MarTech. And I'm a huge believer that event tech does exist within the MarTech landscape. So if we look at maybe 800 companies that are in the event tech landscape, we're looking at maybe 3,000, within MarTech. If you're looking at events as a marketing channel, as a viable marketing channel, we're going to have to look at technology in a different way. So our team evangelizes technology in the sense of, we don't need event organizers to understand it completely, but understand how it can be implemented within their workflows, within their event design. So we mine the gap in the middle between event tech, MarTech, and the organizers.
And I couldn't have said it better, Glenn. Dalia, you have a great fan in our audience today. Glenn is saying that you are wonderful and will have great insights. But Glenn is also giving a shout out to the ECHA community. Many of us will be in Krakow at the beginning of November, and looking forward to that event. We are using a lot of event tech there as well, which is doing exactly what you were saying, and enabling some of our key strategies which we have in mind, and some things that we are doing very low tech because it fits our strategy much better.
Perfect.
And you are wearing another hat, and that's Women in Event Tech.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more about that.
So the Women in Event Tech was created pre-Corona Coaster, and it speaks for itself. This is a community of women that celebrate each other. They help each other out, especially in recruitment. They lift each other up, as well as they collaborate and partner with each other. The beauty of it is, this is, and gentlemen, with all due respect, we do celebrate with you, especially those that celebrate us. But we do have a closed community that are only for women in event tech. The beauty of this, especially during Corona Coaster, is it was not only women that were in tech companies that were involved in the community. We slowly started getting event organizers and planners within the community, because a lot of them started having like ideas on cocktail napkins, and they wanted to see those ideas come to fruition. And who's the best to like try to, put something together or a platform together that can solve a challenge or an issue that we have within the industry, but someone who's on the planner side, not on the dark side. The tech side is the dark side. So this is where we get together. We lean really hard on each other. I would love to see more people within the community. So I will share the Slack channel URL within our comments on this session. And it's open for everybody, because I do think that we can definitely feed off of each other. The great thing right now is the agility in order to bring new solutions and collaborators together for our industry. The faster we can do things, I think the slower we can have of a brain drain within our industry.
And collaboration was definitely also the key to overcome all the challenges which the pandemic has thrown at us, especially in terms of event tech. And you mentioned also the planner perspective being very important. Let's talk about that part. Have you seen whether the understanding of the role of event tech has changed for the planners themselves from pre-pandemic times?
Definitely. I think the planners really did their homework, and they went above and beyond. Obviously we know planners are overachievers, and they're alphas, and they love to check off lists. I mean, I'm talking to one right now. Yes. Okay. So with event tech, they did their due diligence in the sense of the learning curve for technology was much faster in the last couple of years. I think the challenge right now is going to be what is driving the design of your events as well as your content for new revenue streams, and doing things differently. Not thinking of the tech first, but thinking of like, what is it that you want to do? More so, not even from a business sense, but from your audience sense. What is it that they want? Because like you said, for ICCA's Congress, you have technology in place, but you also have like low tech aspects because some of your users are not tech savvy as the others, right? So this is where the design truly has to be for the audience, for the attendees, not more for the business. The planners are going to shift their way of looking at technology where, yes, it's an enabler. No, they don't have to figure out all the capabilities and the feature set and all of that. But basically, they need to think forward in regards to what do they want to do within the next couple of years. The strategy cannot be from one conference to another anymore. It has to be some sort of continuum. So my top 3 tips or advice to planners when it comes to tech is always be in a learning curve. Always be putting time aside to figure out, I want to take a look at this. Really step hard on like, ask the tech companies to give you sandboxes and playgrounds and test driven type of websites, that it's not just a demo, that you are actually, doing the test drive yourself, and include others from different departments. Don't do this in silo, because it won't stick if you are just taking the decision on your own, or looking at technologies on your own. And then the other part is really just ask around, because even if you're a trade show organizer, go to someone on the corporate side or go to someone on the education side and see what they're doing differently. These next couple of years are going to be more chaotic and more mentally challenging than the last 2. And I don't mean to be Debbie Downer, but I think we're all feeling it right now.
And would you say, I'm sure you have seen all those lists of comparison, and this can do that, and this can do that. Would you say the tip is don't look at the lists, don't try to even learn about everything, but the learning curve should be more about your own organization, your own audience, and your own strategy? And
absolutely. The list of the 200 plus virtual platforms or the hybrid platforms, etc., that feature to feature list does you no good. What will do you better, and as an evangelist, I get to go to the tech companies and say, sell differently, market differently. And this is where Launch Shift Go workshop was, which was a workshop, a 2-week sprint only for event tech companies. But basically it was about, don't play the feature game. What you need to do is you need to sit on the table with the organizer as a strategist, as a creator, as a problem solver, more than anything. I mean, I know for you, Ksenia, you would love to have tech companies come together and tell you what they can do better together, right? For the Congress coming up. And then also, what are the insights that you get from that can be acted upon for your next, events or webinars or experiences? That's the position we need to have event tech companies be in.
And it's going to be a 2-way education, I think, for planners, but also for the event tech companies. You have greetings from Boston. Isn't that where you are sitting?
Griffin, you could have come and had coffee with me and be sitting with me right here, like,
But we do have a question, and please keep those coming as well. Joe is asking you, how do you think planners moving to 365 engagement can avoid the platform lock-in that associations have experienced with LMSs?
So the whole idea with 365 engagement is truly an emotional and it's emotionally driven. When you want a 365 engagement or community, there has to be emotional hooks to it, so that you get people that are involved, to stay interactive, to stay engaged. That's the whole key right there. And the whole idea is, yes, it is based on content. You have associations that have content that are locked or gated or on subscription based on LMS systems. But there's ways where you can use content in order to heighten or like light up the exchange, whether it's peer to peer or whether it is business to members, for example. It's going to have to be where event organizers are going to have to, they're doing it now, but it's not their cup of tea, not for everybody, where it is content marketing, it is content creation. And, you know, we are going to have to steal huge ideas from other industries, you know, whether it's, I know everybody tries to use Netflix and Roku as examples, but ultimately, I mean, Joe, these platforms, the content, the way it's created and the way it's teased, and also, yes, steal from TikTok or like, you know, and all of that. There's this new social media app. If anybody knows about it, tell me if you do in the comments. Be Real, where it actually tells you when to post during the day. And if you lose that window, you're done. You cannot see the post of others. Now tell me that doesn't create the sense of, oh my God, I need to post right now. So there's a whole triggered psychology type of persuasive marketing that's going to exist on 365 engagement as platforms, as communities. The other aspect is you have to be very careful not to content fatigue your, or community fatigue your audiences. That's the other part of this. So there's a plus side and there's a minus side.
Yes, and I think you have hit the nail on the head that there is a huge need to evolve business practices and business models for everybody involved, from event tech to meeting planners, associations, how they market themselves. And we can learn a lot from the corporate world or from Netflix as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. Hey, we are all binge watching something these days. Talking about
I'd like to know who's binge watching what, because I need new shows. I'm done with my shows.
So what are you binge watching at the moment?
Well, I just finished what was it that I finished? White Lotus, and on HBO, Working Moms for sure on Netflix, and Cobra Kai season 6 was amazing. And I can't remember the others that I've done. Oh, Bad Sisters on Apple TV. Unbelievable.
I just discovered a show on Netflix, which I had to watch because it's called Cartagena, and it's taking place in the city of Cartagena in Colombia. It's originally in Spanish. I thought I just have to watch it. It's very bad when you have to watch something which is not originally in English, but I'm enjoying it a lot. And I see Paul is also doing Bad Sisters.
Yep.
And White Lotus. And Glenn is doing White Lotus season 2 already. Before we finish for the day, I wanted to also chat with you about another pocket of your business portfolio, because you are approaching life in a much more holistic way. So it's not only event tech, you also focus a lot on well-being. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So part of our services, not only to the industry but to any industry, is we empower professionals. And when we look at that, one of the concepts that we do is actually an on-site or virtual activation, which is focused on 3 things. It's focused on the brain, the brand, and the being. And basically, you know, I think a lot of people have seen us do LinkedIn bars or profile reviews and tech bars where people can ask us about productivity, just anything that will make them more efficient. All the questions that, you know, that would not necessarily be directed to their 7-year-old kid or their little niece or nephew. But the third part is more important now than it was prior to the Corona Coaster, which is the being side, where we are there for professionals in regards to their professional well-being. So we do it in the sense of content, whether it's, how do you deal with being overwhelmed? How do you deal with grief? Even, imposter syndrome, anything that can help them, empower them from inside out, on the professional side and on the personal side. This actually is a serious mission for us. We're seeing more mental health challenges. We're seeing more brain drain within professionals, not even only in our industry. This is across. We're seeing it where you have younger generation. They are neurodivergent. They, so the whole idea is, how do you take care of yourself? But how do you also see signals from others so that you are able to work better, collaborate better, whether it's, in a virtual setting, on some people haven't seen their whole teams yet together, right? And so this is something that we're very, very passionate about. And Dahlia Plus Agency is about empowerment. So yes, we deal with organizations, corporate associations, as well as event tech companies, but more so than anything, we're dealing with people. And the idea of empowering people empowers business, and that's why we're passionate about the well-being. And we like to compare apps with Xenia and everybody else and see what they have that we don't have.
Love the 3 Bs, and I'm sure that gave quite some inspiration for our viewers today. So whoever wants to connect with you can do so via LinkedIn. I'm sure you will be happy to connect, and or visit your website, dahliaplus.com. And I'm not letting you go before you share with us, because we are cooking, right?
Yes.
Any favorite foods, recipes, restaurants?
Oh my God. Yes. So 2 days ago, and people that know me that I don't step in the kitchen that much, except with Ksenia. But 2 days ago, I attempted chicken shawarma with like Egyptian rice and the best garlic sauce ever. And I have to tell you, it was to die for, to the point that my teenage kids, they actually ate it. So anything that has feta cheese and tomatoes, and maybe tomatoes on the side with a little bit of watermelon, trust me on this one. That is something you need to check out. It's a very simple recipe. But anything Middle Eastern, that's delish. My mouth is watering just talking about it. So I don't know.
So, for you, it's just after lunch. So I don't blame you. And my lunch is coming up. So definitely we'll have to sneak into the fridge and look at what we are having there. Thank you so much for joining us. Not much left to say, but thank you also to the audience for hopping on the call. Anybody who would like to join me in future, please feel free to email me at xenia.p@icaworld.org. And next week, my guest will be Marco Ghiberti, who you have connected me with. And I'm so excited to hear more what he has to say. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dahlia.
Thank you.